You are watching YanaTV.
Hi, my name is Yana and you are watching YanaTV. And today we have a very special guest flown to Singapore all the way from LA. Preston Smiles. What a gorgeous last name. And you have a fantastic smile, by the way. So Preston is an author, a transformational thought leader, and he's a conscious content creation expert. So Preston, thank you so much for being with us today. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much. And just to clarify, my name is Preston.
Oh, Preston. That's why you were laughing. Okay, Preston.
Love it. I can be Princeton as well, but for this one, we'll go with Preston.
Preston, okay. But the Smiles, I got it.
Yes, you
so
did
Smiles
get it.
is the right
fantastic.
one.
Yeah.
So is it your real last name?
No. And
No.
yes.
Yes?
Yes. So my name is whatever I say it is.
Okay.
Right? But I was born Preston Davis.
Yes.
I went to a school, a college in Louisiana, in the United States of America. And in this particular school, I was in the theater department quite a lot. And there was this janitor, this person who swept the hallways and picked up the trash. And I would notice that the kids would smoke their cigarettes and flick them right on the ground in front of her. And it bothered me quite a bit because it was as if they treated her as if she wasn't human. And so I knew that I saw her every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it's very hot in Louisiana. It's kind of like Asia.
It's like Singapore.
Kind of like Singapore. Very hot. I think it would be like 37, 38 Celsius.
It's almost like here. Yeah.
Yes, very hot. So every morning, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I would bring her a bottle of water and a granola bar. And we would have breakfast together. And we just talk. Two humans talking. And maybe a few months into the school year, I was running down the hall and I was laughing and just being me. And she said, "Boy, you always run around here smiling. I'm gonna call you Preston Smiles with your happy self." And it was this moment where I was like, oh, that's my name. And everybody started calling me Preston Smiles, and that's who I've been ever since.
And now you're Preston Smiles.
Preston Smiles.
That's I love it. This is gorgeous. Well, I mean, you are all about smiles and love, right?
I
So
am.
and I know you do amazing work. But before we get into the work that you're doing, I just would like you to tell us the story. Like Preston. Did I get it?
Preston, you got it. Look at that. You see that?
Yes,
She got that.
I got it. So
Yeah.
I'm a bit slow, but I got it. So as a little boy who was born to this planet,
Yes.
and then what happened to him? That he ended up being that gorgeous human being.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You think I'm gorgeous. I appreciate that. As a little boy, I'll say this. I was always a pretty adventurous little kid.
Yeah.
And I was never quite like everyone else. And I remember I was about 9 years old when they took me out of the normal class with about 30 kids, and placed me into a special education class with about 4 children who were mentally ill. And they didn't explain, this was in the 80s, and they didn't explain why they were doing it. They just said that I didn't learn like everyone else. So I made up a story about myself that I was stupid, that I was dumb, that I was less than. And I started to overcompensate for being the dumb kid by being really good at sports, really aggressive in everything. And I eventually joined a gang and went down a path that I'm super grateful that I went down, but it was pretty full on. And
On the dark side, you
dark,
mean?
yes.
Yes.
When I was 15 years old, fast forward to 15, I realized that some of the stuff that I was doing wasn't necessarily good, but I was still a kid and I was drinking and doing all kind of crazy stuff. And a friend of mine called me to come out and steal and do stupid stuff like we did in the States.
Like what?
Like we would go to liquor stores,
Yes.
like where alcohol is,
Yes.
and take the alcohol and run out as fast as possible, not paying.
Okay.
And then we'd get drunk and we'd spray paint all over the walls.
Okay.
And we'd fight people and just do stupid stuff.
What boys do sometimes at
Yes.
this age when they're a bit lost.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So my best friend Scott, called me one night to come out and hang out. And for some reason, it was a no. This is the first time for me, intuition kicked in. And I said, I don't think I'm going to go today. He was like, no, you coming? And I'm like, no, I'm gonna chill. And I remember we hung up the phone, and within an hour, every single person in that blue Astro van that I would have been in every other day was shot. And my best friend Scott was shot and killed. He was shot in the head and he died. And for me, at 15 years old, I, at that point, didn't know how to be with my emotions. And so instead of crying or feeling what it felt like to lose somebody, I lashed out, and my grades were getting worse and worse. And I asked my dad, could I leave? So he made a few calls, and I ended up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is another part of the U.S. And I went to the school that was all white. And by white, I mean
You
like
went to school like with people
all
like
Europeans,
like
exactly.
kind of my type would
exactly.
go.
Yes, all Caucasian Americans.
Well, I'm not American, but I technically Caucasian.
Yes, you are exactly. So I go to this school where I'm the only black male in the entire school, and it was like I'm not sure if you've ever seen Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Have you ever seen that show?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
With, with Will Smith?
Yes.
So
yes.
it was kind of like that. I was this, this kid in this school, and everybody had Mercedes and BMWs, and their parents were millionaires. And I'm at this school, and I'm the only black person there.
Who doesn't have Mercedes and parents who are
No, I mean,
millionaires?
no, not at all. And I had a moment there that changed my life forever. I was riding through some hills with some guys, and they were drinking and smoking and listening to Tupac, Outkast, and Biggie, and all of these different rappers that everybody else was listening to back in LA where I lived. And I realized that, the kids at my former school, where everything was a mess and there was graffiti and there was gangs and it was violent, were listening to Outkast, Tupac, and Biggie, smoking weed, drinking. And the kids at the all-white school were smoking weed, drinking, listening to Outkast, Tupac, and Biggie.
There's not much difference,
yes,
basically.
They're doing the same thing, but getting completely different results based on the environment that was set up for them. And that's when I realized that we're all the same. That underneath our stories about gay, straight, white, black, Christian, Muslim, underneath all of those stories, we all are dealing with the same stuff. And for me, in that moment, I recognized that love is all there is, was, and ever will be. And it set me on a journey of diving deep and figuring out, what I actually choose. And that sent me into college, and that's how I got my name.
Smiles.
Because I went and
because you were practicing being love
exactly,
and connecting with people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you have, first of all, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
And did you have mentors along the way that maybe really kind of left a mark on your journey and who you are today?
People in general. I love people.
Yeah,
I love
I can see
studying
that.
people. I love being with people. My mentors are nature and people.
Yeah.
And there has been a few people that have popped up, like Michael Beckwith, Reverend Michael Beckwith from the Agape Spiritual Center. He's a mentor of mine. Scott Cody is a mentor of mine. But I'll tell you this. I got sick when I was 25 years old. I'm now 35. So,
I was just about to ask. Yes, so you answered my question.
So 10 years ago, this beautiful chocolate brother,
Was really dying,
Yeah,
basically.
yes.
So sick.
So 10 years ago, I got sick. Something with my heart came up. And I went,
Interesting. Love, heart.
Yes. I went to a doctor, and the doctor said, you need to see a cardiologist immediately. So I went to a cardiologist, and they ran a bunch of tests. And I came back, and he said, as a doctor, I have to give you these pills, and you're supposed to take these for the rest of your life. But as a father, I have 2 questions for you. I said, okay, well, what's going on? He said, well, number 1, what are your stress levels like? I said, well, what's the stress level? I'm a kid. I don't know what you're talking about. And he was like, explain your life. So I talked about some of my life, and he said, young man, you're highly stressed out. I said, okay. He said, number 2, what do you eat? And I said, I eat food. And he was like, well, explain food to me. It's like, I eat McDonald's, Burger King, I drink beer, I smoke weed, I drink, cow's milk all the time. Like, I just, a bunch of bread, sugary drinks, sloppy joes, hot dogs, like just everything that America on the commercials told us. And he said, young man, that's not food. And I said, what do you mean it's not food? Of course it's food. That's what's on the commercials. And I got really upset with him. he said,
And the anger.
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
He said, how long have you been doing this? I said, my entire life. There is nobody I knew at that time that wasn't eating the same way I did. My whole family, their family, friends' family, everybody ate the same. And he said, I got to tell you, that's not food. And I went on a mission after that. I made a decision that I would not be taking pills for the rest of my life. And here we are 10 years later, I have not taken a single pill since having that meeting with him. And what I did was I researched what I wasn't being told. I researched the lies that we were being told and the ways in which society has been set up for us to believe that certain things are food and to believe that things, and it changed my life forever.
And here you are today.
Here I am today.
Doing an amazing work and living a very healthy lifestyle and inspiring other people.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been quite a journey. And then also led you to writing books.
Yes.
Am I right? So what is the name of the book that you just wrote?
My book is called Love Louder.
Yeah.
It is 33 ways to amplify your life. You see, for me, the idea and the understanding is that when we amplify our love, we automatically amplify our lives.
Okay, then I have to ask you because it's very individual, right? So in your own definition, what is love?
Well, love is a verb, love is a noun, love is everything. Love is the essence, it's what we swim in, it's what we live in. But when I'm referring to love, it's facing off with oneself and understanding the true nature of our being. So when we understand and when we can cognize that our thoughts become things, that we are the creator of our reality, then that to me is a deep version of self-love. And from that space, if I understand that I create my reality, that my thoughts become things, then I can create a world here, and then my world goes out there, and it goes out there, and it goes out there, and it reverberates. You know, it sends ripples.
Yeah, the ripple effect.
Yes.
It's what they say, you know, the third, even in Indian ancient, philosophy, they say that everything is created twice in the world, first in your mind, and then in the world, right? So it's the thoughts, the words, actions, and results.
Yes.
So you are going into the fundamental basic of how everything is created to change the result.
Yes. Everything is touching everything. Everything is touching everything. You know, in Christianity, Jesus says that what you do to the least of my brothers, you also do to me. And this is a very metaphysical saying. What he's saying is what's happening in Africa is happening here. What's happening in Singapore is happening in the States. What's happening in the States is happening everywhere. Everything is touching everything. So this idea, this illusion that things are separate, you know, back to it, gay, straight, white, black, Christian, Muslim, you name it. To me, there's only one.
Okay.
And how I connect with the one is by connecting with here.
Yeah. And how long ago was it you realized that?
It's been a process, but over the last 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then was it a gradual process, or it's like you woke up one day and it's like the bulb went in your head and you go, I got it. I know. I'm love. I know my life purpose.
Yes and no, because the moment you think you know, you stop listening. So if I did a presentation on how to brush your teeth, how much listening? What would your listening be like? If I was here to teach you how to brush your teeth? Yeah,
very little.
Very little, right? So same with me. If I think I know, then I stop listening. You know, Mother Teresa said they asked her why she did what she did. She said, because everywhere I go, I see the face of God. You know, I'm in that practice all the time. How can I be the space to see the face of God in everything? You know, and that's eternal. That'll never end. We are ageless, deathless, changeless beings made in the spiritual image and likeness of God. Now, whatever name is on the door for people, I am not concerned with. But for me,
it's all about the essence.
Yes.
For you?
For me, it's God everywhere.
Yeah. And then about your life, and here we're going on this in your own journey. How difficult or easier, but probably difficult, was it, to actually shift your life in a different direction? right? Because here you was the kid
Yes.
who kind of, and I'm going to say it because I personally strongly believe in that. You know, I do believe in that people come with different levels of wisdom to begin with.
Yeah.
And there's those spiritual beings who have maybe a more ancient wisdom, usually tend to start their life rougher than those who are new to this world.
Yes.
So it's very common that you would have a lot of difficulty in the childhood and kind of a lot of temptation to follow the darker side until, you know, maybe your instincts and your calling and the God essence will actually show you that you want to do something different.
Yes.
So now when you realize, I mean, I understand you're still in the process of realizing that,
Yes.
but when you decided to go on a different path,
Yes.
how did you manage to make the choice and facilitate the transition?
Yes.
And how easy or difficult was it for you?
It was both.
Okay.
It was both. It's easy to make a choice. We can all make choices. You know, I'm going to lose weight. You know, I'm going to get a better job. We can make choices in our head all day, every day. The choice was easy. You know, I say that that success happens on a daily basis. You know, Aristotle, what's the Aristotle quote? We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. So for me, it became about how do I switch my habits? How do I create a world within myself where my habits are lined up with my thoughts and my words? And that was not easy, but as they start to build on themselves, you know, what we appreciate appreciates. So the biggest thing for anybody who are looking to change their lives is start looking for the ways in which you are already doing beautiful work. You know, because as I began to appreciate the stuff I was doing, the person I already was innately, I started building on that. You know, what you appreciate appreciates. What we focus on expands. So in my focus on the beauty, it expanded. And I expanded. And what's the JFK quote? A rising tide lifts all ships. You know, as I am lifted up, I draw all unto me. Right? So as I lifted my consciousness, everybody and everything came with me, including bank account, friends, family, all of the above. And some people fell off.
And it's fine, because that's
awesome.
how it's meant to be, right?
Yes.
I mean, you don't want to drag everybody with you if you don't want.
No.
Everybody has their own journey.
Yep. It's just lifing.
Yeah.
Just lifing.
I love this one. Lifing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
For sure.
That was very enlightening. And that was YanaTV, guys. And I hope you really enjoyed this extremely profound conversation we had today with Mr. Smile.
Yep, say my name. Say it.
Preston.
Preston.
Yeah, I remember that. We see you, so I don't. I remember that. And guys, we love you. We appreciate it. Remember that you are love. And do go out there into the world, live this life from your heart. And we connect with you next week.
And what I think also the power of their steps and the process, which we all bring to the work we do when we help people, right? But also community.
Yeah.
So there was a community of support, there was accountability, and I think that's really important. And the reaching out, because we're right, we retreat and we contract, we constrict, that just creates even more constriction.
Yes.
When we have the courage to reach out, and even if someone's helping us, guiding us, to have that connection.